Good evening. We're here with Melia Huntley, and Melia has graciously agreed to share with us her story tonight. Melia, welcome, and thank you for your willingness to share with us.
Thank you.
Melia, you struggled with drugs for about 20 years, is that correct?
That's correct.
And can you describe the circumstances surrounding the time where you began your drug use?
My husband and I separated, and shortly after that I got into a toxic relationship. Until then, I had never heard of meth or the drug world. This person introduced me to meth, and after only using once, I was addicted.
And there were consequences for using meth, correct?
Yes.
What were some of those consequences, Melia?
After only using a year, I lost my job of 13 years. Began selling my stuff that I had worked for. I pawned all my jewelry, including my wedding ring. I sold my truck that was fully paid for. I cashed out my 401k, all my life insurance policies, and even the one I had for my son.
And your doctor told you something quite shocking. What was that, Melia?
That if I didn't stop using meth, that my heart would blow up.
So even though there was a danger of your heart exploding, you continued to use
That's correct.
the drugs.
That's correct.
And after some time, you stopped feeling the high that you get from using meth. And what did you do at that point?
Well, 17 years into my addiction, I started using the needle. Started using more and more often. So the need and want for dope increased. So I started selling to maintain my habit.
And that's typical, is it not?
Yes.
When you need to increase your drug so that you can, it's called chasing the high.
Correct.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
And so you have to increase your usage, and to increase your usage, you have to begin selling to be able to pay for your drug habit. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And consequently, your lifestyle becomes much more dangerous.
That's correct.
Tell me what happened once you began selling.
Well, during this time, I became homeless. Living place to place, I found myself in bad situations. I was slipped a date rape drug, and I was brutally raped. After this happened, I started using more to deal with the pain. A month and a half later, I ended up in Henderson County Jail. While I was there, I had a miscarriage.
So, how long were you in jail that first time, Melia?
7 days.
Okay. When you got out, what was your situation?
Well, once I got out of jail, I was still homeless and never wanting to go to sleep for the fear of being raped. I stayed high. I started hanging with well-known drug dealers. I also tried what you call speedballing, which is mixing heroin, a downer, and meth, an upper. And I thought I was going to die.
In fact, you actually witnessed someone almost dying, is that right?
That's correct.
Tell us about that.
She overdosed on heroin. She was dead.
What was that experience like?
I was scared. Between my experience and that experience, I knew I didn't want to have anything to do with heroin.
And that led you to another type of drug, is that right?
Well, I started searching for a different high. So I tried shooting pain pills. It was then when I realized I desperately needed help.
You were living in a house at that point with no power, no water, no electricity.
Correct.
And it was in the middle of the winter.
That's correct.
Right? And that was the point at which they brought you to us.
That's true. A very close friend of mine brought me to you. I will never forget that day, January 18th, 2016.
Brutally cold, wasn't it?
It's freezing.
We naturally took you through the stages of detoxing, which basically consisted of you sleeping and eating. Is that right?
For a week.
for a week. All you did was you'd sleep for hours and then wake up and we'd feed you, right? Okay. There were no beds available at any of the rehabs in the area, and so we had to put you into a safe place. And so our only choice at that point was to put you into a hotel room with one of our staff and who stayed with you around the clock. We didn't leave your side for 24 hours for a period of 2 weeks.
That's right. If you would not have stayed with me, I would not be here today. I would be dead.
We were in a situation. You had to move out of the hotel, but we had nowhere for you to go. And so God opened the door for another opportunity. What was that?
My brother and his family graciously let me come and stay with them. Then we started my recovery.
So what was involved, Melia, in your recovery?
So I had no ID. So you guys took me to get my license renewed. I hadn't been to the doctor, so you guys took me to the doctor to get my prescription that I had neglected to take for all those years. I had legal matters that I had not taken care of. Took me to my lawyers and to the community service representative. I had to go to outpatient drug classes.
And you had a certain number of hours that you had to complete for community service, right?
Yes, 28 hours.
And you were able to complete those hours?
Yes. And I began looking for a job. And in one day, God blessed me with a job.
Amen. So, Melia, after 20 years of using drugs, with the help of your brother, First Contact enabled you to get clean, to get all of your affairs in order, to get a job, to buy a car, and then...
With the help of First Contact, I was blessed for the first time ever with my own place to live, a home of my own. With the help of First Contact support group members, they furnished my home completely.
That's wonderful. And I know you know this, that a year before we ever met you, that our prayer team was praying for a Melia that we didn't even know.
That's right. You looked like you were in amazement that I was there. Like God literally put me in the doorstep of First Contact.
So you're 2 years into your new life after being addicted for 20 years. How are things today, Melia?
God shows me favor every day. I am blessed beyond belief. God has restored my relationships with my family and my son. I'm still employed at the same job that God gave me the first day. I was hired as a housekeeper, and today I'm assistant executive housekeeper.
That's wonderful.
I attend meetings weekly provided by First Contact. I regularly attend Fruitland Baptist Church. Last year I got to go on the mission trip with my church, and this year I plan to go also. I also give support to addicts who come to me wanting help. And none of this would have been possible without God, my determination, my family, and First Contact. First Contact has not left my side, not once through all this, and to this day continues to support me. Words can never express the gratitude or love I have for my First Contact family. And that's exactly what it is, a family.
Well, thank you, Melia, for sharing this with us. I'm sure it's going to help a lot of people, and God's going to use it for His glory.
Thank you.